The Pats fall to 9-5 on the season and are currently the 3 seed in the AFC behind Houston. Who would get the first round bye as of now? Are you more encouraged by the Steelers or discouraged by the Patriots? Todd, I think
discouraged by the Patriots. I think it's supposed to start with me unless Lobo led me astray here. But I'm more discouraged by the Patriots. I really am. Because when you really break down the Patriots the last 2 weeks, it's not just losing. It's losing in the most Patriot-not way possible. 14 penalties, I think it was. You had last week Brady run out the clock at the end of the first half when they should have gone in at a minimum up 30-21. He got sacked. The interception, which was just inexplicable late in the game where they could have kicked a field goal there and made it a one-possession game. And to me, it's also not just about Brady at all. It's about the decline of Rob Gronkowski. This guy does not look like anywhere near the same Leviathan that we got used to on that Patriot offense. Look at his numbers so far this year. Receiving yards, 6th for tight ends. Look at him receiving touchdowns. Look at him also yards after the catch. Brady got used to Gronkowski being his security blanket when necessary. Even the plays that he threw late, he was looking for Gronk. And Gronk just can't answer the bell anymore. And I think as a result, I know it's early. I know people disagree with this. I think the Patriot dynasty is over. I'm officially pronouncing them as not a dynasty anymore. Now, I still think they're good. I still think they can make the playoffs. But they're just a team in the AFC now, not the team in the AFC.
I'm sure you'll change your mind next week.
I don't want to say it's officially dead, but that was definitely a discouraging effort from New England. Because when you look at them offensively, if you back out the big play to Chris Hogan, which was a typical Steelers breakdown that we've grown accustomed to, this offense did next to nothing when it needed to over the next 3.5 quarters to try and compete. Defensively, they held up just fine, but when you're going to average less than 6 yards per play, Brady's only thrown 1 touchdown pass or less in 7 games this season. Not exactly a ringing endorsement, but let's give the Steelers a little bit of credit as well. This team, when they stay committed to the ground game, they're 6-0-1 this year. Jalen Samuels, 19 carries, 140 plus. And unlike what we've seen from the Steelers in the past, they didn't self-destruct in the waning moments of that game. They held strong, and we've grown accustomed to New England winning those games. The Steelers actually took care of business in the final 2 minutes. So Pittsburgh, maybe this is a season-defining win for them as well.
Yeah, nice job by the Steelers getting the monkey off their back, but they really played the summer school version of the Patriots, and I don't know what's going on with this team. Brady's throwing a bad ball. Receivers are dropping everything thrown their way. Gronk trying to get separation. Looks like an elderly man on Black Friday trying to grab a Cuisinart. It's not pretty at all. And look what they're doing against the run the last 2 games. This is against Miami and Pittsburgh's 3rd string. Last in yards per carry. Not pretty at all. I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't recognize this team at all. Maybe Belichick dials back the Botox a little when we start from scratch.
Was the elderly man looking for the quiz? That was you, right?
Shut up, Bajetta.
Bajetta, capital B. I love Mondays. They hurt themselves, and they hurt you, Sal. Didn't they?
They really did.
A little bit. The Cowboys need to win just one of their last 2 games to win the NFC East. Sal, should bettors be wary of betting on the Cowboys after their 23-0 goose egg loss? It's a 3-point road dog Sunday. What do you think?
Well, no, because Zeke said the blowout is great for the Cowboys in the grand scheme of things. And you know what that means? When they lose by 40 to the Bucs next week, it'll be even better.
Oh,
wait to see what this team does in the playoffs. I actually got a little queasy because 2003, Quincy Carter's team was the last team to get shut out. Not looking good. But it wasn't a big game for them. Honestly, you don't expect Jason Garrett to get them up for a game that's not imperative. So that's what happens. And now they face 2 5-9 teams the rest of the way. Tampa Bay, like I mentioned, and the Giants. I think they need to beat Tampa Bay because if they have to go to New York, it's going to be guns a-blazing at the Meadowlands there. Odell Beckham will throw for 3 touchdowns. Barkley will run for 3. It's not going to be pretty. It'll be nice to sit the starters against New York. Say, hey, we're that much better than you. We didn't even need this game. So I like Cowboys over Tampa this week.
I'm with you, Sal. I don't think there's anything to be wary about for this Dallas team. They'd gone through a gauntlet portion of their schedule. They played at such a high level for 5 weeks during that win streak where they did nothing but win football games and cover spreads in the process. This was a little bit of collective sigh of relief. We talked about it all last week. Indianapolis was going to need this game more. Andrew Luck was going to outplay Dak Prescott. The one thing that I found troubling for Dallas wasn't the final margin, was the fact that Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Amari Cooper was still out there on the final drive of the game when they were down 23-0. I can't imagine the story or the narrative coming out of Dallas if one of those guys gets hurt in garbage time, because this game had long since gotten away. The defense will be just fine. They'll get healthy against Tampa, and Dallas is still a team I wouldn't want to play in the NFC playoffs.
Dallas is in good shape because Jameis Winston is rolling into town, and all he does is eat W's and then give them to the other team. So there's no concern after. Yeah, that was great from Fox that they put out. 11 straight years that the Bucs have been eliminated. So I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. And to me, you already start to look ahead, at least I am, at the NFC playoff picture. And it looks like they're going to be matched up, if I'm not mistaken right now, against the Seattle Seahawks, because I think the Seahawks will still end up with the number 5 overall seed. And as a result, I think the Cowboys are going to end up with the 4 seed, clearly. I think they're kind of locked in there. And to me, as I've watched the NFL all season, these teams are almost exact mirror images of each other. In fact, the data reflects it when you look at it to think about what they would do in a matchup here. Dallas 4th rushing offense against the 1st, time of possession, not surprisingly, scoring defense. These teams are very similar. The biggest difference is the Seahawks have Russell Wilson and the Cowboys have Dak Prescott. So if I'm a Cowboy fan like Sal, what I want the last couple of weeks is, 1, don't have to play that game against New York that matters. But 2, also keep the rhythm going. You need some rhythm against Tampa Bay. They didn't look like it. They shut down Amari Cooper. You need to feel like you have an explosive offensive tandem that the Seahawks don't have if you're going to win a playoff game against them.
The Seattle's like a half game ahead of Minnesota for that 5th seed. Why are we jumping that that's going to be the game all of a sudden, 4-5? We know that?
Clay knows.
Because they got the tie. They got the tie break.
It's
so
a
I think they'll
half game.
let worst-case scenario break out. I
Todd,
understand there's a tie in there.
Okay.
Maybe we work this out in
tie
commercial
and lose.
We actually have
It sounds like you're nervous about going up against the Seahawks.
I'm nervous about it all, and I don't like the crown on that one guy next to you. I don't know his name.
We have a special message for Cowboys fans out there, okay? We know it's hard to be a Cowboys fan, but you're not alone. There's a number that you can dial. It's 1-800-I'm-miserable. Just ask for Jerry. Okay? They're there to help. Sal, maybe write that down.
I'm picking it up during the commercial.
The Saints travel to Carolina tonight to take on the Panthers on Monday Night Football, baby. The Saints are in the driver's seat to be the 1 seed after the Rams lost last night to the Eagles. New Orleans is laying 6 points tonight in Carolina, and the total sits at 50.5. What is it, me and names today? Toad. What's the best bet in this game? The spread or the total?
Toad is right.
For me, I think we're going to get an all-in effort from Carolina today. And so when you consider that they've had some tremendous success as an underdog in this particular rivalry, I want to make a case for the Panthers here. I know they haven't exactly played up to playoff-level expectations when they started the season 6-2 amid this 5-game losing streak, not only straight up and against the spread, but Christian McCaffrey remains the bright light of this offense. Yes, Cam Newton hasn't distributed the football the way he needs to, or we'd like to see, and the Saints may be 16-6 against the spread their last 22 on the road, but this is still their 3rd road game in the last 19 days. And ultimately, New Orleans may be busy taking a collective sigh of relief, knowing this game not nearly as important now with the Rams dropping that game last night. I think you get an all-in effort for Carolina. They're loose. They throw caution to the wind, and it's the Panthers plus the 6, the best bet you can make in this game.
Todd's wrong. The Panthers aren't very good, and you don't want to bet on a very good team that has lost a bunch of games in a row like the Panthers have with an unhealthy quarterback going up against a defense like the Saints. I'm going to get to their defense in a second, but I feel like all of the attention on the Saints has been on Drew Brees, who's having an MVP caliber season, on Alvin Kamara, on Mark Ingram, and certainly on Michael Thomas because they all are sexy big-time playmakers with all the points that they're scoring. But look at what this New Orleans defense has done since Week 10, and that's why I love this game. I think they're going to shut down, for the most part, this Carolina Panthers offense. Christian McCaffrey will make a few plays, but look at this. They are the best combination of outstanding offense and defense in the entirety of the NFL, which is why they're the favorite and why I think they will go in and wax the Carolina Panthers tonight and also, relatively speaking, shut down that offense.
One thing that defense doesn't do is play well against running backs who catch passes, and Christian McCaffrey is the high watermark for those guys. And I think the Panthers, I'm with Todd here, I think this is their Super Bowl. They play the Saints in 2 weeks. They want that game to matter more than anything. Cam Newton, yes, he is disguising an injury, but I think they keep this close. Look what they've done in 11 games at home, 8-3 against the spread. And Cam, 25 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. But the important thing to remember here is that I am 0 for my last 8 in the last 8 night games. See, I can't even speak, let alone pick a night game right. So stay tuned in the next segment where I have loser number 9.
What a tease.
Yeah.
Guys, I found a really cool story last week. Saints defensive end Cameron Jordan sent Cam Newton a broom last year after they swept them last season, and Cam's kept it in his locker all year as motivation. So, Clay, I know you've had a rough couple of weeks, so we actually got you something here that we're going to keep in your room just for whenever you're coming back. Use it as motivation, my friend.
I can't even tell what that is.
It's
is
a
that
gigantic
broom?
broom, and it's very dirty. But it's for you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Hold
that.
on, Clay,
well,
you
I
can
did
tell the
have
difference
3
between a
straight
broom
sweeps.
and a mop?
Yeah.
You can tell the difference between a broom and a mop? I still can't
I
get over
can't
that.
tell
Have you
it's a
never cleaned up
screen. The
anything in your
screen is
house?
a long way away from me.
He
I
grew
don't
up
think
with
Clay got
14
that one.
servants.
No, what do you think I am?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just
I don't
making
do
fun
any
of how
labor in
bad
my
you
house.
are. Hey guys, I'm Rachel Bonetta, host of Lock It In. Thank you so much for watching. You need to subscribe. And I think the button's somewhere. It's somewhere on this page. To get the latest from the show, make sure you check out more of the best clips from Lock It In, or go watch a few other segments from our other awesome shows on FS1. But subscribe. Make sure you do that.